folks, and welcome back to another review and thoughts, and checking out, again, Scream, which is Scream 5, essentially. Somewhat a reboot, but also a sequel, but mainly a sequel. Requel, some mention that in this. Um, Now, I'll say this. First time I saw this, I was pretty harsh on it. I didn't review it, but I meant to, and then I put it off for so long, and then I decided to watch it again. And I don't get the praise for this one. I really don't. I mean, there's interesting elements in it, but overall, it's just okay. And I think it's directed by the Radio Silence duo who did the final segment in VHS with the haunted house, the possessed chick, and they get hit with a train at the end. They also did Ready or Not, which I like that way more than this, because and with I'll say this about franchises Scream. I like the first one; it's decent, it's fine. The second one I like. I grew up mostly watching that one the most. The third one is my favorite. The fourth one is alright. I reviewed the first one, the second one, and the fourth one. I didn't do the third one because I meant to, but then I started doing other stuff. But yeah, Scream 2022, aka Scream 5. And we already have a teaser trailer for Scream 6, where it takes place in New York. And I will say the teaser for that one I liked a bit because it didn't show anything really, which I think that's how it should be with trailers. They shouldn't really show much of the movie. They should just show like a small snippet of a scene with the killer maybe, or tension rising or something. But yeah, I do recommend that teaser trailer for sure. This one, it goes with Jenna Ortega's character Tara, who plays the younger sister of our lead Sam, who's named after Sam Loomis, Billy Loomis. We find out she's the daughter of the original killer of the first film, Billy Loomis, who was Sidney's boyfriend. Also, he was partnered with Stu's character as well. The acting in this is decent to fine. It was cool to see Sidney and Gail back together, whereas Dewey got the short end of the stick where he didn't get to be in any scenes. Well, he got to be in the scene with Gail, at least, but that was it. We didn't get to be in the scene. It would have been cool if we got to see all three of them together, and then, maybe Dewey dies at the end instead, or midway through, and then we bring Sidney and Gail together. Because it's just like the Star Wars movies. We don't get to have Han, Leia, and Luke together, and Chewie, but yeah, this one, and also it introduces, again, the thing with Billy Loomis had a daughter in high school, when he was in high school, I guess, as well. He was seeing Sidney as well, but also with other chicks. And that's why Sam stayed away for so long from Tara. And although they did mention in the sequel they want to try to tackle her darker side, I don't really see that going anywhere. It'd be cool, but I don't see how they would do it, because this movie and the way, like, in the killer's motivations, I was thinking about it as they were talking about toxic fandom, which Star Wars for sure. Even some wrestling fans, I would say, but yeah, the whole we're gonna kill the daughter of Billy Loomis and the original trio of legacy characters, so we can have a brand new stab movie. So I'm like, wouldn't that get the movies banned more than anything? Than I mean, but granted, the way even though they made what 5 or 6 stab movies in this universe, they're supposed to be based off of events of Sydney's life and others, but still, like even like I think today that would be banned. So I don't. So the motivations of the killers, and they're like, oh, we're we're just misunderstood fans, and they just don't get us. They just don't understand us. I'm like, you're making the group that you're a part of look really, really bad because you're grouping them with as serial killers over a franchise. Granted, it's about a killer, but and even like the kills. The kills are lame in this. I mean, all it is stabs this, stabs that, slice, dice this. There's no, you don't feel any of them really as much as they want to try to make you feel. It seemed generic. I mean, the first kill, well, it's not even the first kill. Tara's encounter with Ghostface was interesting, somewhat, but then like also confusing because like, but then you get why they left her alive so they can bring Sam's character back to Woodsboro, whatever the town's name is. They ignore Scream 3 and they acknowledge Scream 4 because they say incident in 2011. So I wonder if they threw that in there so they can say we're bringing a character possibly back from that movie, which they are, Kirby, which is fine because I actually did like that character. But yeah, it would have been cool if they didn't blow their load with, or they thought they were being clever where it's always the love interest. Don't trust the love interest. And it ends up being the love interest. And I liked his character a bit. I did. When I first saw this, I was like, he's a decent guy. He's standing by, the daughter of Billy Loomis. And she's telling him to leave, but he decides to stay. That would have been cool if he was actually a good guy and, he helped out instead of being the other killer with the stupid Amber character. Which, but even the one emo chick with the highlighted hair, the purple, I think it was purple or pink. I would have liked it if she was the killer, because instead it would have been her and I don't know who else could have been. I mean, maybe it would have been cool if maybe the niece or I think she was the two black siblings were related to Randy through whatever. It would have been cool if maybe one of them as well was the killer. That would have been interesting, where you have an expert of the tropes. And yeah. So I would like to if this emo chick of the group would have been the killer and then could just. But then, and people don't really like the fact that Dewey got killed by a 50-pound chick or a very tiny girl. But aside from that, I can sort of let it go to an extent. But the way she picks him up a bit, I don't know, when she's stabbing him. There are some. I'll say this: there's some cool shots in this movie with Ghostface, from certain camera shots, angles, long shots of Ghostface standing. I thought some of those were pretty iconic. Not like, well, I like some of those shots. But yeah, and even the jock of the group, he survived somehow, even though he got stabbed multiple times. I swear, multiple times in the stomach or in the side of the stomach, and he's still alive at the end. And granted, I guess they're trying to be different. Where, oh, see, we let the black character live, but I'm like, you let at least the one, his sister, live. Why not just let her live? And because his death or his scene, he should have died because he was bleeding out as well. But then his girlfriend does mention she found him, so I guess maybe she must have patched him up. Maybe. Okay, so I guess I can sort of let that go. I can just say she patched him up, because she does say that she found him and she has blood on her hands. And then she gets shot. And I'm like, wow. It would have been cool if she was the killer again. Because she tries to want to go upstairs with him. And he's like, no, because you might be the killer. I'm like, Jenna Ortega, who plays Wednesday now, she was fine in this. She wasn't the best, you know. She's not an amazing actress. She's decent to fine. Same with the lead girl. She was alright. No, I just had to keep falling off. But overall, it reminded me a bit of still Scream 4 and the original movie, which they were trying to really emulate, especially in the third act. And even the final shot is a copy of the original, where it pulls out of away from the house and you see the reporters and that, and then it fades into black or whatever. So yeah, it tries to be somewhat of a love letter to the original, but then also, and people want to talk about how crazy this duo, you know, the two director, writer, or whatever, the radio silence, how crazy their stuff is. And yeah, usually it kind of is, because you watch Ready or Not, you know, and then you watch this, and it's pretty okay, it's alright, but again, I would rather watch Ready or Not. It's not like I didn't care about anybody in this. I did like Tara's character for a bit. I did like Sam's character. I do hope, if what they say is true about this part 6, they're going to go a bit deeper, darker with her character. And the whole, her seeing hallucinations of her father, Billy Loomis. I'm not, again, when I first saw this, I wasn't a big fan of that at all. I thought it was stupid. But it's okay. It's okay. I can sort of deal with it to an extent. I did like the final part where she was stabbing the boyfriend over and over again. She just goes to town on him in a bad way. But, you know, so I like that scene. I did like Sydney and Gail's fight with the crazy chick. She gets burned up, and then she also ends up coming back later and then gets shot. But yeah, overall, do I recommend it? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a fan of the first film, I guess if you're a fan of the franchise, if you're not a fan of the third one, who is a fan of the third one but me and a few others? But yeah, I would say go see it. I would say it's fine. It's not a favorite of mine, really, but it's alright. I can watch it. It is a time waster.